So today we're going to do the pick'ems for both the Americas and the EMEA playoffs. There's going to be some surprises. There's going to be some favorites winning, of course. But let's dive into it, and we'll start with Americas. And here it is. We got Levitan versus Furia and NRG versus Evil Geniuses. Now, let's start with Levitan versus Furia. A game between two teams which cannot buy a win. I suppose Levitan did beat Crew, but against anyone who's even decent, both these teams are just in an absolute freefall. And Loud have hit the jackpot, by the way, because Loud themselves have been a bit shaky, but they're going to play one of Levitan or Furia, and I don't trust either of those teams to even give Loud a fight. So I think Loud, I mean, I'm kind of spoiling that pick, I think Loud have kind of hit the jackpot here, to be honest. But of Levitan and Furia, I think Furia are probably playing a bit better right now. And so I'm going to give it to Furia instead, because I do have a bit more faith in them. But both these teams, I think, yeah, it's not looking great. And because I spoiled it as well, I will just tell you, I think Loud are going to beat Furia. And when Loud beat Furia, if this does come to pass, then I do think that would be Loud going to Masters Tokyo already. In they go, happy as Larry. Now, NRG versus EG, we just saw this match actually a couple, what was it, in the last game of the regular season, and NRG won 2-0. EG did start to put up a fight on Bind, and it looked good for EG early on, but then NRG kind of came into their own and started to win that game, and then kind of, basically just outclassed EG, and unfortunately for EG, I think NRG are just playing too well right now, and so I think that would be the case again. Now, if that is the case, we get the absolute giga banger. An absolute mega giga banger. Cloud9 versus NRG, which is probably going to be the most difficult match to call of any. And I think if you polled everyone, you might get close to 50-50. Very, very, very close. But my pick is going to be the team that I think right now just has that aura about them that they can't lose. And that's actually NRG. Some of you might have thought I was talking about Cloud9. That's how good this game's going to be. But I actually think that NRG right now are just, I don't know, they just, even when they start losing on maps and stuff, it just looks good. And Cloud9, I know they maybe weren't fully trying against Crew, but I don't know. I just trust NRG. I trust NRG. What else can I say? But bear with me on that one, because we'll get to later on. Cloud9 versus Levitan. Again, Levitan I think are in kind of a free fall mode right now. And I trust Cloud9. I mean, Cloud9, yeah, I mean, that's not going to be a shock to any of you there. And Furia EG could be an interesting game. I suspect that this would be a close game again. And I do have some faith in EG. And I do think that EG, would they be the favorite in this game? I'm not quite sure who would be favorite in this game. But I think EG are playing better Valorant. And so I would go for EG there as well. And then we'd get, obviously, El Clasico here. Loud and NRG, and overall, again, I think Loud, yeah, sure, they could probably beat Furia, but I think NRG, if they've come through this bracket and they've beaten Cloud9, I think that they will then go on to beat Loud as well and just be going crazy. And then we'd get our final game here for Masters Tokyo, which would be Cloud9 versus EG. And unfortunately for EG, they'll give it a good go. But unfortunately, no one wants to see EG, and they'd have to make a sub because Demon 1 apparently doesn't have a visa, so it wouldn't even be the proper team going to Tokyo anyway. So I'm going to go for Cloud9, beating EG just there. We then get Loud versus Cloud9, which is a matchup that I think a lot of people have wanted to see, since Cloud9 kind of got really good. Everyone's kind of been saying, I think Cloud9 might be even able to best Loud, and I think that they would be able to best Loud. And then here's the thing. We'd get NRG, the old NRG core, the old Optic core, against Cloud9 and MCE. And this happened before last year, where everyone thought, oh, well, Optic will beat the Guard, right? But no, wrong. Cloud9 beat NRG in the grand final, and they go the furthest. But that is what happens because the old Optic core and NRG, they never, ever finish first in NA or Americas in this case. So Cloud9 come back in and they win the grand final. That's how it's going to go. Submit it. You're welcome. And that's the Americas playoffs. Okay, on to EMEA. And, well, there's going to be some easy ones here in EMEA, of course. I'm not going to shock you too much with some of these. But we'll start off with Giants Foot, which I think will be a pretty close game. I think both these teams have good days, and both these teams can have some bad days, and good maps and bad maps. And so I think it could be very, very close. I would lean, though, Giants have been the better team overall, and so I would lean in their favor. Although, as I've mentioned before, I think actually throwing this game makes more sense because you don't stand an absolute chance against Fnatic whatsoever, and really all you do is give yourself less prep for this game here. So, again, I'm not going to shock you there. I think Fnatic would beat Giants. Team Liquid and Team Vitality. I think Team Liquid have kind of become solidly the third best team right now. And so I will just be going Team Liquid. Again, no big shock there. Yeah, it is what it is. And then Na'Vi versus Team Liquid. The battle of the brothers continued. Team Liquid with a sub in their game against Na'Vi actually played it very, very close. So that gives me some hopium that Team Liquid with a full roster and safe back and all of that could maybe beat Na'Vi. But they aren't going to, because Na'Vi is still going to be the better team overall, I think. Team Liquid versus Foot. I think that Team Liquid would be the better team. And remember, this is to qualify for Tokyo. Fnatic and Na'Vi would already be there. So I think that Team Liquid, again, would be the better team. But then we'd come to Giants versus Team Vitality. And this would be a very, very close game, I think. But this is where the surprise comes in. This is for Master Tokyo. And I think Team Vitality, sneaking into playoffs, actually go and beat Giants here. Okay, then we'd get Fnatic versus Na'Vi in the upper final. Fnatic have already shown that they're the best team. And so I'm going Fnatic. Team Liquid Vitality, as I said, I do think Team Liquid have shown themselves overall to be kind of the third best team. And then, so we'd get into the lower final, Na'Vi versus Team Liquid. Again, it was close the first time. I think the first game, if these teams played twice, would be close. But ultimately, I just have faith in Na'Vi, particularly potentially over 5 maps. I think I definitely prefer them. So I'm going to go for Na'Vi. But then, obviously, Fnatic are Fnatic. And so Fnatic will be ultimately the winners in the grand final. I know it's a pretty safe pred overall. There's not too much crazy things going on there. But Team Vitality are going to make it. Who would have thunk? But yeah, that's what it's going to be. And so let me know how wrong I am in the comments down below. And thanks for watching. Okay, the last one is going to get... The last one got me.